Rule number 1,
BIOS.
always right. Rule number 2, nothing else matters because
BIOS.
it's always right.
Everyone, I'm going to be reacting to some of the new Overwatch news coming out for Season 4. You guys can leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. I don't know if this video that I will react to the trailer and also reacting to the Battle Pass coming. So either be in this video or about 3 or 4 videos, who knows. But anyways, let's get started. So for the Overwatch 2 patch notes coming for April 11. So let's see here. So we're going to be getting the new character, Life Reaver. We'll be looking at him in a sec. This is all a bunch of stuff here and some like bug stuff to the hero updates. Here we go. For Reinhardt is getting armor health reduced from 300 to 250, and his base health is increased from 175 to 200. All right, so he has less armor but more health. So how much health? How much overall health do you have right now? Like 625, right? So this should give him like 600. Okay, so that he becomes a little bit less tanky. That's fine. So the developer comment was, Reinhardt has been overperforming after the recent increases to its defensive capabilities. Those changes have been playing well, so to adjust his overall power, we're reducing his overall health through his armor reduction. Decent change. He still has less health overall. Yeah, a little bit less. 25 HP is less, so, and less armor to get through, so I don't really think it's gonna change him too much. I mean, he'll just have to be a little bit more careful charging into teams like he usually does, but it may not change all that much depending on how much Life Weaver is played. So I think it's fine. I think it's good because he's very strong, and it's funny how people say that he's not. Clearly he is. So nerf the fire strike damage. I agree. His fire strike damage does need to be nerfed. I would say 80 health, but that's neither here nor there. So for Sigma, his accretion, which is his rock, impact damage reduced from 60 to 40, 80 damage total with explosion. Knockdown duration increased from 0.8 to 1.1 seconds. So his rock, when you get hit directly with it, is being let me see, reduced from 60 to 40, 80 damage in total with explosion. Okay, so he can still one shot. No, he can't one shot anymore. I think you're left with like a little bit of health then. But since the knockdown duration is increased, so you're stunned longer. You're stunned for a 0.2 longer. Yeah, less damage, but you're stunned more. Yeah. People were complaining that that when he hits people, whenever he hits people with the rock, they would get up right away. But I don't really think that was a problem because most of the time he still killed you. Unless you were pocketed or something. So developer comment, like Roadhog's chain hook, Sigma accretion and primary fire combo can be highly lethal and can feel like a guaranteed kill against 200 health targets. We're reducing the damage slightly to require an additional volley of primary fire, but also increasing the stun duration to provide allies with more opportunity to follow up on successful impacts. Blizzard loves lying. Yes, they do, because they're supposed to be removing. Like I know that like tanks are supposed to have the stuns, but really no one should have a stun. I don't think Sishi should really be in the game. But they're trying to answer to the one shots, but at the same time they're not necessarily answering the one shots, because just because a character is left with a sliver of health, aka that slight opportunity of survival, does not count as them addressing the one shots. Either reduce the damage overall, or just or don't bother, I guess. So next for the damage category, Cassidy. Cassidy got changes. Okay. Base health reduced from 225 to 200.
It's what she deserves.
Oh.
Yes! Down with the cowboy. Magnetic grenade. Damage reduced from 131 to 120. Okay, so again, I think you're left with like a little bit of health. Like maybe like 10 health. If he does the combo, so you'll survive. So you have more of a chance surviving Cassidy, unless he gets a headshot, with this combo than you will with Sigma. It's what he gets. Honestly, hideous cowboy. Honestly, the whole problem with Cassidy is he is either a 2-shotter or a 3-shotter body. And then he had this annoying combo where he just like shoots you and mines you and you're dead. And then he had like all this HP, so it was very hard to challenge him. So he had a lot of things on his side that he didn't really need. Developer comments. Magnetic grenade only requiring 1 additional primary fire shot after sticking to a target was too reliable to execute on. Even though it only works at close range, no it doesn't. That thing would be following you all over the place. That's not true. I would say close and mid-range, it would get somebody. Because I would really feel it when I'm playing someone like Echo or Mercy, where he just throws it up in the air and it tracks me down. I also have had instances where it would like go behind walls or over like May walls and stuff. Like, hello? Honestly, close range, where it was like a grab. We're reducing the total damage on magnetic grenade, evenly split between the direct damage and explosion. The reduced fall-up damage buff his primary fire received recently enables Cassidy to play from safer engagement ranges now, so we're reducing his health back to 200. So he can play further back, so he's supposed to be like in between his team or like next to the support, really. But this does make him a little bit more susceptible to Hanzo and Widow, which are much better at long ranges than him. Which is... that's a whole other discussion, because Widow and Hanzo need changes themselves. But I just find it so funny how people were saying like, oh my god, Cassidy is so bad, he's so bad, he's so bad, he can't do anything. And then they buff him to all this stuff, which is not what his problem was. And then he gets like something like this and he becomes like almost broken and blah blah blah. And this is how they're dealing with it. I want to see how this does. Next up, Sombra. EMP can now disable Blizzard. We are expanding with Sombra's EMP turns off to keep it consistent with how it affects other device controlled ultimates. So they're not doing the Sombra rework. Or at least right now. Okay. Sombra's pretty good. I would not be surprised if they don't do any changes to her at all going into the rest of the game. Oof, May nerf. Yeah, that May is kind of in a weird spot. So, but the thing about May is that, or like with these engagements that they do for Sombra to make her a little bit better, is that a lot of the time, players don't know how to play Sombra, or they just don't pick Sombra. There are so many times where like you're being harassed by a ball. Harassed by a ball, harassed by like, characters that Sombra can handle, because she's pretty good, and she could definitely carry, but people just don't pick her. So you get like these games where, it becomes one-sided because you're not picking the quote-unquote counter that can deal with the problem. So her pick rate is so low, so these things may not really change overall. May's just in a weird spot because, people like feel like her freeze is much better than her right click, and her ultimate is not that good. Because you have to set up a lot to make it work, which I don't think is a problem for an ultimate. There's a lot of ultimates in the game where you just like press the button and it's like a win button, which you need to fix. I can't play Sombra, oof. But like, I know there's a lot of people who can't. So that's where like they feel like they can do these changes, but it won't really change anything unless you come against somebody that can play Sombra. Support. Ana Sleep Dart. They changed Sleep Dart. Maximum duration on tank heroes reduced from 30%. From 5 to 3.5 seconds. I agree. Wait. Oh, on tanks. Oh, it's only on tanks. So tanks are not slept for 5 but 3.5 seconds. Okay. I think that's fair. I'm guessing they're just trying to make tanks more tanky and add something new to their passive. I mean, I guess her sleep is not the problem for me. My problem with Ana is her anti-nade. Like, it lasts for a very long time, and I know they reduced it before, but it still feels like it lasts a long time. And I don't know how I feel about it doing damage. I feel like it just shouldn't do damage. I wonder how much damage it actually does. Developer comments. We've been watching how effective Sleep Dart has been in 5v5 gameplay. It hasn't been overly disruptive as a whole, but since it is significantly more reliable to land against tank heroes due to their large hitboxes, and even more viable to do so with one tank on the field, we're reducing the maximum duration against those targets. Ana could be really oppressive on tanks. She's pretty good for Roadhogs. I feel like this is gonna be like a net buff, whatever, to Roadhog and what's her name? Junker Queen. Because Ana kind of shuts them down pretty well if she can land her stuff. But them being able to get up quicker, this is ever gonna push them forward a bit more. Small targets are harder to hit, so it should be more rewarding. I guess so. Alrighty, Brig. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Brig. We're gonna talk about it for a sec. Rally. Brig now gains 100 restorable armor health pool. Wait. Brig now gains 100 restorable armor health pool for the duration of Rally. Okay. Brig no longer gradually builds temporary health like her nearby allies. Okay, so she only gets armor. Rally now upgrades her barrier shield, increasing both its size and health. Okay, because her shield was literally paper. Barrier health increased from 300 to 750 during the ultimate. Nice. During Rally, Shield Bash now impacts multiple enemies and briefly stuns them. I don't like the stun. I would say that's the only thing I don't like. Bonus movement speed reduced from 30 to 15. Repair pack. Range reduced from 30 to 25 meters, so she needs to be closer. Developer comments. Rally lost some of its power with the change from granting allies additional armor to temporary health, and overall took a relatively long time to build up its defensive benefits. This rework is intended to keep it as a defensive ultimate ability, but with more immediate impact due to gaining its increased armor health pool up front and the enhanced barrier, which can be utilized to block for teammates while their temporary health builds for or interrupt enemies with the stun. Okay. What's the point of the health pack nerf? I don't really know. Yeah, I would say that's a little weird to reduce it from 5 meters. I don't understand that one. But, so the thing about Brig and what everybody's afraid of with Brig, she was very dominant, right, in Overwatch 1 for a long time. She caused the ghost meta and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people are freaking out that she's going to come back and do the same thing, which is understandable. We don't want something like that to come back. But at the same time, you can't deny that even though Brig has been doing pretty well, her ultimate is not the best in the game. It's very exploitable in the sense where when she does rally, she becomes a primary target to burn through her, and then, you know, like just kind of like stop the overall the overhealth. I know Summer players are really good at exploiting that. Symmetra is pretty good at it. Pharah's pretty good at taking her down and stuff, Reinhardt Shatter and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that come against her ultimate that compared to the other supports, hers was probably the most lacking. One of my biggest complaints about Brig was that her shield wasn't really doing anything for anybody, especially for herself. I feel like, Widow would one-shot it. Not one-shot it, but she would almost one-shot it, and then, that was it. And, at the same time, you have to do a lot to, like, make Brig works, which is fine. Now, as an ultimate, putting all of these things in an ultimate, I think is really, really good. It buffs her ultimate. It does, in the minds of the developers, they are trying to make her more defensive. Like, if you get caught in a grab, or the team is pushing onto you, you can pop Brig ult, and you have something to do. The problem is that, once again, Blizzard are liars. They're lying. They are adding back her stun. Why? You just said only tanks can stun, besides Ana. Which is where the other part of that, I think, needs to be changed. Ana's sleep should be something else. If you want it to be mainly tanks, then make it mainly tanks and give Ana a new ability. Giving a stun to Brig to justify it because Ana has it, I don't think is a good idea. Stuns are agitating, Let's see. This makes healing flankers harder, and the range isn't even that good. Blizzard is trying their best. They're a small indie company, Anyways. What's the next thing here? Decreasing her movement speed from 30 to 15% does not make her apart. Doesn't really scream GOAT's meta is coming back to me. Now it depends on how this will work with Lucio, but then again, Lucio on any team doing speed boost is already strong, so that's not really an argument, If you're gonna argue about it, then you have to look at speed boost, the ability itself, and think about changing it there. It's not Brig's fault completely. So I agree, they are hardworking. Okay. So I think this is a positive for Brig. Everybody that is overreacting about it are overreacting. I want to see how this will work in the game live. Let's see how it actually plays out, because a lot of abilities, people would think oh my god, it's too much, and after a certain amount of time, a good amount of time, it's not that bad. So I am on the side of this is good. The only thing that I would change is removing the stun. She does not need a stun. We don't need to be adding stun back to other characters. Just leave it. Goats! Just leave it with the tanks, like you said, and deal with the one-shots. Let me listen to you while I do the dishes. AJ Brown. Interlocking shields. Sorry. Okay. So, now we're gonna move on. Mercy.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again.
Healing per second increased from 45 to 55. Healing is no longer increased for allies under half health. So they removed her passive, where she heals more for someone who is in critical HP. I don't like that. I kind of like that passive for her. Guardian Angel. Cooldown reduced from 2.5 to 1.5, so that has been reverted. Jump and crouch cancel active ability state duration increased from 1.0 to 1.5 seconds. The jump and crouch cancel active ability state can no longer be manually interrupted to begin the cooldown early. Why would you change that?
Oh, excuse me?
What? Why? What? Okay. Oh, they have a freaking paragraph for her. Okay. So they took away her passive, her new passive, where she can heal more to a target who is in critical HP. And I'm guessing that's the answer. You're fighting somebody, they get low, and then Mercy comes, and she basically saves them, and you can't kill them, you have to back off. But I get it, but I liked it. Did they just revert the changes? They basically reverted the changes. They reverted the changes, but they also nerfed the ability to cancel her GA. So like usually when you would like, you know, you want to like reset the cooldown, you would just cancel your GA early and it would, you know, begin the timer. Now, if you cancel your GA early, the timer won't start right away. It'll start when you basically, you know, stop moving, and then it will start like from the top, from the 2, 1, go, 2, 1, go. So I don't know if this is gonna make Guardian Angel feel a little clunky, because like, for example, let's say you're flying in to save a target, but you realize, oh, there's a grab coming. You cancel your GA so that, you know, you don't get caught in it. So your GA will be down for 2 seconds before you can use it again. Instead of you being able to cancel it, get the cooldown going, and then have it ready when you need it, you have to actually wait out the whole duration. So I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's see what they say. Support or passive healing is not active during... Oh, there's another one. Support or active healing is not active for the duration of Valkyrie. Was it not active before? Oh, it wasn't active before. She can only rely on the healing that she would get. Oh yeah, she had that other passive too. So basically, like if there's a target that was critical and she was healing them, she would also get the support passive early if they were critical. That's what she relied on when she vowed. So they basically put that back. The recent increase to Guardian Angel's jump cancel abilities still needs to be kept in check in some way. What are you talking about, bro? Like, I felt like Mercy was fine. They should just did the Reaver and move on. I don't know about these jump and crouch changes. But while the last iteration was simple, it also had some unintended effects, such as not being ready to use GA again after flying in and using Resurrect. That was a complaint, like people would fly and use Resurrect and they were stuck for 3 seconds. But that's why people used the cancel. So they would cancel, have it ready, and then jump out. This revision provides more flexibility and allows Mercy to opt into additional 1.5 second cooldown. Wait, what? This revision provides more flexibility and allows Mercy to opt into additional 1.5 second cooldown when using the increased mobility from jump, crouch, cancel options, or otherwise waiting for the base cooldown time. I would have to test this out. I don't really understand. So it still works or it doesn't work? Because it sounds like it doesn't work. The increased healing multiplier condition on her staff was intended to help Mercy players feel more agency in trying to save critical health allies, and I liked it. It was fun. And to add depth to the healing mechanic without changing the total time to heal to full health. However, the overall rebalance of the healing values received significant negative feedback, both from those playing Mercy and from those playing against her. There wasn't a satisfying middle ground where we could reduce the potency of this effect while still having it feel impactful, so reverting it. Okay. That's why they should just leave her alone. I sure no one in their team plays Mercy. It really feels like they just don't know what's going on here. I feel like that last iteration of Mercy was really good. Like, I know people, it's not their fault necessarily. No, it is their fault. Screw it. It is their fault. But it's also the community's fault for overreacting so bad. You know? Moira. Fade. Fade can now be activated during Coalescence. Yes, I agree. 100%. Yes. Coalescence. Bonus movement speed reduced from 50 to 40%. That's fair. Guided grabs. Lingering heal duration increased from 2 to 3 seconds. Nice. So a buff, a nerf, and a buff. Overall buff. Developer comments. Being able to use Fade during Coalescence ultimately gives more and more playmaking ability by being able to reposition more quickly and avoid potential threats with quick reactions. Due to the more spread out playstyle 5v5, we're increasing the lingering heal duration from a primary fire, meaning it will heal more in total. I I like this from Moira. I like this from Moira. This is good from Moira. Most of the time, she gets hacked, she gets shattered, one-shotted, something happens to her, you know? So this will help her actually be able to do her ultimate, like give her ultimate some justice. DPS Moira era is coming back. Honestly, the TikTok Moiras are gonna be thriving. So that's basically it. So overall, the patch is okay. Patch is okay. I would have liked to see Sombra reworked. I think Brig should lose that stun. Mercy, I think they shouldn't have changed her, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see how everything goes when it's actually out and it's actually being played.